I thank you very much for tuning into That Will Never Work podcast. Of course, we have a phenomenal show. If you could have been in the green room with us, you will understand who this individual is and the personality. We're going to have some fun. But our guest started her entrepreneurial career at the age of 5, selling bags of glitter, water to her neighbors, and a future CEO in training who will go on to build 4 multi-six-figure businesses, co-write a film starring Danny. I don't want to mess up his name. Y'all know who he is.
A lot of tattoos.
I know, right? But that was bought by Lionsgate. Competed in beauty pageants while running a Pilates studio, doing TEDx talks in Australia in the middle of a global pandemic, and built a visibility empire that reaches over 150 listeners in over 46 countries. So that lets y'all know that podcasting, radio, TV, all that is possible. You just got to do what? Get over some of your fear. And this individual, all while carrying an event and eventually dismantling the single most expensive story most entrepreneurs never fully confront, the belief that they are not enough and to be seen. So today, the founder of Crown Yourself and CEO of Communication Queens, Kimberly, is on a mission to pull every visionary leader out of the shadows of their own subconscious story and to the spotlight they were born to occupy. Because she knows from the inside out that the only thing standing between the entrepreneur and their visibility is the story they've been telling themselves, whether they deserve it or not. Idea of that will never work. Well, let's talk about it right after this.
Educate, empower, enable, impact. Thank you for tuning in to That Will Never Work, an award-winning podcast where we share inspiring information and personal experiences related to business and the entrepreneurial journey from those who are leaders in their respective field. Now, here's your host, author and business coach, Maurice.
So our guest, I know I gave y'all a lot in the intro. That's a part of her bio. That's only a snippet of her bio. Trust me, it's only a snippet. But if I had to give you some keywords from that, it would be radiant, unapologetic, a warrior, fierce, glitter-filled, sovereign, transformative, multi-dimensional, and authentically magnetic. I thank you very much for listening to That Will Never Work podcast, and I want y'all to give a warm welcome to Kimberly Spencer. Kimberly, thank you very much for coming on to the show.
Thank you, Maurice. I received those words 100%. Thank you so much for seeing me like in my highest light. It's so beautiful when that happens, and like I see you too, King. Like you have this energy and this heart for service.
Thank you.
And I'm just so honored to be here on the show.
Oh, I'm honored to have you here. And I did my research, so I have plenty of information on you.
Oh, boy. Oh, no.
I know, right? But we want to talk to entrepreneurs and their visibility, right? Mm-hmm. And so you've built an empire talking about visibility. A podcast, TEDx Talks, best-selling book, a whole agency built around entrepreneurs being seen. And yet your own story of getting visible started from a very deep place of hiding. Mm-hmm. Most of us hide. And so what was the internal experience of being someone with everything to offer, but a story that kept pulling you into the shadows?
Well, I kept on having to think I had to be perfect. And I was so scared of all of these flaws and things that I perceived about me that were wrong based on circumstances that I had, growing up. I had 2 very inspirational parents who believed in me, who supported me, who championed me, and who also had their flaws, with my dad being a highly functioning addict and alcoholic. So there was this dichotomy that I got to see growing up of the possibility. Like when he was sober, he was amazing. And he was the best sales closer, deal maker. He talked himself out of 7 out of 8 DUIs, not recommending that strategy, but his powers of sales and persuasion.
Right. Right. If it works, right?
So
It's practice.
It's a practice, yeah. But being able to see those experiences growing up and having several traumatic experiences in all forms of abuse, it wasn't consistent, but it was once is enough.
Right.
Is what I say. It's like, it's once is enough to put the fear in you of, oh my gosh, will this happen again? So I began this hypervigilance of protection, and perfection was my protection mechanism. And I thought, maybe if I was perfect enough, maybe if I was skinny enough, maybe if I got good enough grades, maybe if I hid myself in all of these masks of performance, really shrouding my light. And I learned how to adapt like a chameleon to the circumstance very quickly, because for any person who's been a child of an alcoholic or in one of those situations, being raised by alcoholics, you get really skilled really fast at identifying behavior patterns, at minuscule micro movements that you're like, something's off.
Right.
Something's off. So my spidey senses make me a great coach today. I am truly grateful for the soul contract that my dad and I had now on the other side of, I see my childhood as my training ground, but it took a lot of time to strip away those masks, to strip away the fears. I spiraled into a 10-year battle with bulimia. I had so much shame in hiding that. I was so ashamed of my body. I was ashamed that I was guilty for what I was doing to it. I was ashamed that anyone would see it. And by the way, growing up in Hollywood, the only place that I saw that I could make the income and impact that I wanted to make was in Hollywood. So I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be the female Clint Eastwood.
Okay.
When I was younger. I wanted to be the actor, the writer, the director, the producer. I wanted to do all the things. And eventually, obviously, ended up in entrepreneurship, where guess what? You get to do all the things.
Right.
Until you hire a team.
Right.
So, but that model for me, what's great now in looking at how I look at visibility is so deep, like in acting, in Hollywood, you have to learn to detach your identity from the outcome of the audition, because there could be a million other different things. And it's so easy for our egos to be like, oh, it must be me. Oh, it must be me. I must have been wrong. I must have done this. And that's not necessarily an accurate self-assessment. And I've seen the same thing in business and with visibility, is like, we think, oh, well, that podcast didn't pop off, or that sales call didn't happen, and that sales, deal fell through, and it must be because of me. And I do think, yes, we all have to take a modicum of personal responsibility. Like, I think we have to take a lot of personal responsibility. I think 100% ownership.
Right.
But ownership is not blame, and ownership is also not identifying with the mistakes. And so I had to strip myself of making every mistake that I made in my early years a identity defining moment. And that's what pivoted. I ended up starting my first Pilates studio and becoming a freelance Pilates instructor when I was 19 years old. I started out freelancing. Within a few years, I started my first Pilates studio because I needed a job to support myself in entertainment. And being a minute control freak, I wanted to set my own hours. Like, nothing wrong with waiting tables and doing the traditional Hollywood thing that people see as, the actor, the writer life, but that just wasn't for me. I tried smoothie making for a summer. I was so bored. I was like, this is not feeding my hunger for service and teaching and learning. And Pilates was actually what pulled me out of bulimia. Like, I started my journey into personal development, not through the mindset work, not through looking at my thoughts, but through actually retraining my somatic nervous system and allowing myself to activate my parasympathetic nervous system, which was not on, like, it was not working. Right. Because when you're in incredibly stressful household living situations where you're wondering, am I safe? Is he going to come home drunk? Is something going to happen? Even in periods where it's like, oh, this is really good, you're constantly looking for that other shoe to drop. So you're hyper vigilant, which hijacks your nervous system into being in the sympathetic state of fight, flight, freeze. And that's where mine was. And it wasn't until I found Pilates, which deregulates your nervous system into the parasympathetic. And I started to train my body and my nervous system. And suddenly my subconscious started to come online. And suddenly I started to not that it wasn't online, it was just running so autonomically because I was just so responsive and reactive. I didn't know that you could widen that gap. Like Viktor Frankl says, it's the gap between stimulus and response. And it is in that gap that we find our freedom, but we also can find our greatest learning and growth when instead of going from stimulus and the stimulus of, oh, that sale fell through, or, oh, this problem happened in business, this thing happened. You're able to say, okay, that happened, but it doesn't define me. Here's how I'm going to confront it. Here's how I'm going to approach it. Here's what I can learn from this. And so you widen that gap of the response of the big spike in emotion. And that's what I had to train to do. That's what Pilates trained me to do, so that eventually, after the film got picked up, it was called Bro. I co-wrote it with my director, Nick Parada. And it got picked up, and I'm at the premiere. Lifelong dream, achieved at 24. And I'm like, well, what do I do next?
Right.
Now what? And that was when I got the opportunity to come on board an e-commerce company. And I saw the product, and it was a back stretching chair. And I said, oh, I could see that in every Pilates studio. I know that machine. I can train on that machine. And my business partner and I had different values and different belief systems. And I not only learned about the experience of working with a partner, but I also learned about creating the subconscious architecture of the business and making sure that when you are working with a partner, that it is on mutually aligned values. And not necessarily is that the case. And that wasn't the case with my business partner. And so we ended up splitting. I had a successful exit at 28. It didn't feel successful. I took it as a massive identity hit. I thought I had lost my business. That was the story that I was telling myself. And I signed the buyout agreement 3 weeks before I walked down the aisle to get married to my amazing forever husband. And we went off to Italy, and I was for our honeymoon, and I was like, what do I do when I get back?
Right.
What do I was like, I didn't want to go back to Pilates. Screenwriting didn't fully fulfill me because I was told by a Hollywood agent, he said, you did great, doing your first film. That's amazing. And just do 2 more. And I was like, I want to do something different. I don't want to do the same sort of story. I don't want to do, and then he's like, well, you could write Hallmark movies. I was like, not for me. I have a little bit of edge. I like a little bit of grit. And being able to just look at and start listening to, well, is this my path, or is this the path that I thought that I was supposed to take? And if I have all the options open to me, what would I choose? And that was when I looked at all of the aspects of my life of what I love to do. I did beauty pageants as a kid. That was actually, and into my teens and early 20s. And I loved writing. I loved entrepreneurship. I loved relationships, but I didn't want entrepreneurship to come at the sake of my relationships. Because when I was a part of my e-com company, my hair was falling out from stress. I gained 10 pounds of stress weight 4 months before a wedding. Yeah. I was waking up at 3 a.m. with panic attacks over grammar errors in our marketing emails that I wrote for fear that, a customer would come back and that my business partner and I would have a disagreement around the importance of spelling words correctly, which, as you and I discussed before, before the show, I was telling Maurice, I said, because I saw the spelling in Never, and I was like, ooh, that was intentional.
Yes.
If he's gone on with this for 7 years, that was intentional.
Yes. It was.
But I was telling Maurice, I said, I had made hundreds of thousands of dollars with a call to action button that said some bitch.
And as we said, that just humanizes us, right? And here's the thing. I mean, I'm listening to what you're talking about. There's some things that you keep. It's the same message over and over and over again. I want people to catch this. It's ownership. But it's owning you versus someone else owning you. And so how do we overcome that? Because as I told you in the green room, what's the name of my podcast? It was because someone was speaking over my life, something that was negative. And I started to own their story as my own. And I had dealt with some identity crisis moments, over a period of time. So how would you talk to someone right now to say, you know what? It's time for you to take ownership over you and your life and your journey.
I would say get out a pen and paper. And if you're driving, do this exercise later. But write down a list as unfiltered, unadulterated of all that you desire to do, be, and have, of all that you truly desire. And listen to your body as you're writing it. And just once you dump it, once you get it all out and on paper, unfiltered, because so often when we're building something, when we're building businesses, when we are stepping into a new career path, there will be those naysayers, and that's part of the journey.
Right.
And it's very hard when it comes from friends and family. And it's very hard. I was talking to an entrepreneur group that I am leading locally, and we were talking about, the initial advice to beginning entrepreneurs is like, just go ask your family and friends. I was like, no, you don't want to ask. Like, I am completely counter to that advice. I say, ask your friends and let your friends and family know, like, that you're on this new journey. If they know someone who is in the search, then let them give you a referral. But your friends and family know you as this identity of who you have been. They don't know the identity of who you're stepping into. And so if you're recalibrating and reconstructing your identity, sometimes that takes a little bit of proof. I mean, even Jesus went back to his town and they're like, nah, you're not the Messiah.
Right.
Nah.
Yeah, he was challenged. Most definitely.
Like, we knew you at 12, Jesus.
Right. Right.
So we still have the identity of how people have held on to who we have been. I mean, it took until I was in my late 20s and had my baby. And by then I began, I don't know why I'm saying thumbs down. Thumbs up to having a baby.
Right.
Thumbs up to becoming a mom.
I know, right?
That was weird.
Yeah.
But I saw how I had been perceived by my father until the time that I started that in 2016 when I staged his intervention. Only after I had the courage and audacity to stage an intervention for my dad and then have the clear boundaries to walk away from our relationship until he was 100% sober from alcohol. The other things took a little bit more time, but from alcohol was the big one. That was the abusive one. It was only after that he saw me as an adult. And I was in my almost 30s, because he had seen me self-sabotaging. He had seen me as the little girl who needed her dad. He had seen me in my self-destructive habits as a teenager. He had seen me battling bulimia and choosing really poor boyfriends, poor choices with character, as you do when you are struggling with your own identity. Right. And when you're struggling with beliefs that are literally creating the world around you, when you think I'm not enough, when you think I'm not smart enough, so you choose some dumb dude to date, that's because it's coming from a belief system where it's like, well, now I have to prove that I'm smart. Right. So who are you going to choose as a partner? Someone dumb. Yeah. And that's what I did. And so being able to see all of these identity-based decisions. So people take time, friends and family and naysayers, they take time. Some will never see it, but you have to see, are they really the ones that are for you that are going to be paying your bills? Are they the ones that are going to be funding your dreams with their dollar? Are they the one who you are going to be personally serving with your services? If not, then their opinion is very small.
So I have a question then. So you have this idea of crowning yourself, right? And I said the idea because some of us can't fathom what that really means or what that looks like. Because if you think of a crown, you almost think about perfection, right? You're thinking about high moral values and ethic things. You just have all these really, really high expectations. So how can I crown myself if I am so imperfect?
Great question. So if you think of a queen or a sovereign of a nation, they are literally born into a belief system that says you are a baby, and when you are an adult, you will run a full country. Just think about that belief system for a second. Like, they are born with the expectation as a baby that they're going to be a leader.
Right.
How many of us are born into belief systems that we're going to be leaders?
Wow. Right.
So we have to adopt that belief system for ourselves, because a sovereign of a nation believes that they are divinely appointed to fulfill the purpose that is how they were born.
Right.
So if we are born with a divine blueprint and purpose for what we are to achieve in this lifetime, then it is our responsibility to steward that.
Wow.
And if you think about a sovereign of a nation, once they're born into that belief system, they then have a bunch of mentors, guides, teachers coming around them to train them and lift them up to be able to be at the capacity to have the skill set developed to run a country. So when you think of who you are surrounding yourself with, if you took your purpose, that thing that's been on your heart that you want to create, and one of my favorite questions to ask my clients is, who did you want to be? What did you want to do when you're about 4, 5, 6 years old? Not saying you're going to be exactly that, but there may be tenets of that you can incorporate into who you are now. I wanted to be a princess.
I eat glitter.
So I named my company Crown Yourself.
Right.
I wanted to be a queen.
Right.
I wanted to run, but I was not born of that bloodline. So I decided to say, well, what is my divine appointment then? Well, I'm going to start a company called Crown Yourself. I'm going to become the communication queen, and I'm going to go on a whole bunch of podcasts and teach people how to re-identify with their divine appointment that they are designed to steward in this lifetime. And looking at what are those desires and dreams of your heart. So, for example, one of my clients, his dream, he always wanted to be a pilot. And so that's not his business. That's his hobby.
Right.
But he loves building. He loved like architecting and Legos. And so he loves building. He was great with building. And so he built his business to then support him in buying a plane, so that then he could fulfill his vision and childhood dream of being able to take his grandkids and fly them to France for lunch and then fly back to the UK. So that's a dream that he got to tap into. Another one of my clients, she loved caring for people and guiding people. And she would always be the leader and teaching and leading the front of the class. And so she incorporated performance and teaching and training and speaking into her style of being, of how she does her business, of how she runs her coaching business. So when we look at these, our younger selves give us clues as to who we can be. I was selling bags of glitter water, and what glitter water is, just to be clear, it is plastic bag, water, glitter, shake, sell.
Not bad business model.
I thought when you step out into the hot, I was on the streets of suburbia in Burbank, California, and I thought, it gets to be about 110 sometimes in the summers. And I thought, well, what better way to look radiant than to pour some glitter water on you? So we split tested price points for 5 cents or $50. And no one bought for 50.
I know.
But I tried.
Right.
But being able to look at those qualities and aspects of yourself and see okay, well, have I abandoned those parts of me for what I want to be? So another one of my clients also wanted to be a pilot. And instead he can't fly, but he he can fly around a lot. And so he wanted to incorporate travel into his business model. And so he's taking his whole team on a trip to Costa Rica. Like this is how you start to incorporate, like, okay, well, I had this dream that I wanted to build something. How do you incorporate these aspects of you? Like I look at my 8-year-old, almost 9-year-old now, and he wants to build the first restaurant on the moon. He wanted to be an astronaut. He wanted to be a chef. He wanted to own a restaurant named Spikes, which is my husband's name, which I thought was so sweet. And he combined all his passions, and he's like, I want to be the first person with a restaurant on the moon.
Nice.
And I was like, okay. And I see it as my job as a mom to steward that dream. So I don't say like, oh no, I'm like, how do we make this work? Like, who do we need to get to know to get to us to Elon? Like,
I know, I'm about to say SpaceX right there, so he can figure that part out.
How do we get the robots? Who do we need to connect
right.
to? Like, and then what skill set do you need to have? Oh, you need to learn how to, run a restaurant. You need to know how to hire a chef. You need to know what makes good food. Like, so stewarding that. My second son, his first sentence was, I climb.
Oh, wow.
And he is elegant. Watching him climb is like a dance. It's gorgeous. And he's 5. And I have had people see him climb. They're like, oh my gosh, you're like, you have an athlete on your hands. I was like, I know. So I was up till 2:00 last night looking at like, where are the climbing gyms? At what age can he go to that? Because I'm like, that's my job, is to steward his dream. Because it's not for me to say, well, I'm going to sell my company to you and you are going to inherit this.
Right.
No, that may not be your dream. It's my dream. If that becomes part of it, then great. But I'm looking at how do we build generational impact from the work that we do. And when you make that leap from going from corporate to entrepreneur, you have so many possibilities at hand. You have so many options on the table as far as how to build. The first thing that you need to get clear on is, what do I sell? What am I really, really good at that I can deliver on my promises, and then sell that. That's all you need for the first stage. And it's the scariest part, because when you are stepping into visibility, you are essentially, not like a prostitute, selling yourself.
Right.
Like, you are selling the idea of you, the idea of working with you. You are and it's decoupling your identity with the progress of your business and the revenue that your business is making is one of the most foundational but most transformative choices that you can make. I wanted to find the right word, but it is a choice.
Wow. So Kimberly, I have a question for you. First of all, before you let everyone know where they can find you for the next choice, for the next option, for the next step, I need you to do me a favor. Take that microphone, put some water on it, throw it across the room, drop it, something, because you just killed it, Kimberly.
Oh, thank you.
You just did. I mean, I'm in my head, I'm running around like Rocky. My hands are like, Kimberly, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. So, but let everyone know where they can really find you and finish this idea, because, oh gosh, like Kimberly, I gotta have you back on. Because this is a 2-hour conversation right here.
We gotta do a deep dive.
But where can they find you?
If you love podcasts like this, that will never work, and you are wanting to get more work around your identity as who you step into as a sovereign leader of your dream, of your destiny, then just head on over to the Crown Yourself podcast and listen to, it's crownyourself.com/podcast. You'll be able to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And if you're looking to get to that next level in your business and you're like, how do I go from idea to income? We have a free ChatGPT prompt guide that will guide you through every step of how do you take that idea of your genius zone, of all your skill sets, of your magic that you are blessed with. And I think the hardest part is when we have our gifts, we forget how good we are, because we're like, well, that's just normal for us.
Right.
And it'll remind you of your greatness. and it'll allow it to be a reflection back to you. I think AI is a great tool to use. Please don't let it write all your copy,
right.
But like it's a great tool to use to guide you through the ideation phase to get you from idea to income. And so that's my gift to all of your listeners, Maurice.
I just want y'all to know that I'm pretty sure y'all need to go get a glass of ice water or something. I'm on fire. If y'all on fire like I am, because like I just stated, Kimberly, like you give so much information and your energy and your the value. Like I don't want you to understand how much value you just poured into me, and I'm in the same space.
Oh, I'm so honored. Thank you.
You know, I just want you to understand that was very powerful. Like I literally felt like Rocky. Like I really wanted to run up and down the art museum steps. You know, but I hope each and every one of you feel the exact same way. So, of course, Kimberly's information will be in the show notes. So that way, if you are driving, you're biking, you're up and down the Australian coast somewhere, you know, that you are able to get her information and follow her podcast and get these tidbits on an ongoing basis. I really greatly appreciate you, Kimberly, for coming on.
I appreciate you too, Maurice. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor.
And so, but Kimberly, I got to ask you the question, Kim.
Question.
Yeah, one last
You warned me
one.
of this.
I did. So, would you rather choose 3 doors or a fork in the road? Now, your answer in the green room.
I think my answer is still the same. I like to create my own path. So I would look as I choose door number 4.
Now, can you give everybody your real answer from the green room? Do you remember that?
I believe it was. Can I create it my own door?
Yes.
I choose door number 4. I just created it.
Right, the bibbity boppity boo.
That's the path that I'm going to wave my magic wand. We're gonna choose the path that I desire because I'm like, well, I don't know if I like these choices.
Right. Now, I do have a question though. With that, in addition to that, if the doors were glass or acrylic and you could see through them, would that make a difference?
No, I really trust my gut. Like I can definitely say after 18 years of entrepreneurship, I really trust my gut, and my gut says create door number 4 because you can only see so far.
Right.
And so you choose that door, you start heading down that path. I mean, the only wrong choice to make is to not make a choice at all and have someone choose it for you. So someone chose to give me those, like, you know, Maurice. Give me those choices.
I know.
And I was like, well, I'd like to make my own choice.
Okay. Now,
that's the power that we have as sovereign leaders. We can make our own choices.
So again, I like the energy, Kimberly, and I don't ask this question to everybody. So if you could choose to sing a duet with anyone dead or alive, who would you sing it with?
Freddie Mercury. 100%.
Really?
Oh, yes.
That was no hesitation.
There is no time wasted. Like, yes.
Wow.
Freddie Mercury, 100%.
Wow. Kimberly, I appreciate it. Like, there was no hesitation. It's almost like you were gearing for that question. I didn't even prep you for that one.
Yes. Yeah. There is no doubt in my mind. Like, that is, like, I am very proud that my children have a vast musical repertoire.
Nice.
Of understanding of rock and roll, classical, and
nice.
Just the fact that we can all sing "We Will Rock You."
Right.
Oh, I mean, that's an anthem.
It is.
Of empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a soccer game in person?
I used to play soccer,
okay.
And I was the one who chose to wear her own pink shorts instead of the uniform. So, and then I won my participation trophy because I'm a millennial and I felt I deserved it.
Okay.
Because I worked really hard and I didn't want to do soccer, and that was the extent of my soccer experience.
And here's the reason I'm asking, because they saying that I went to the Philadelphia soccer team. I went to a few of their games, and they sang that song. I've never felt a stadium sway before. It felt like the whole building was swaying. It was so much energy, and it was so alive. You're correct. That's an anthem for real. Everybody knows that song.
Yeah, I saw Queen live. My husband took me for my birthday.
Nice.
And with Adam Lambert, and I was like, oh, it was the whole stadium. It's just a palpable feeling of love and empowerment and screw you, I'm going to do it anyway.
Right. Right. So
it vibes with the aesthetics, like with the values of the show.
It does, right? So, but I thank you very much for coming on, Kimberly.
Thank you so much for having me, Maurice. It's been my honor.
Same here. Of course, everyone, I thank you very much for listening to that Whenever Work podcast. But I got to leave you with my challenge. Identify your plagiarized story. This week, write down the specific story you are telling yourself about why you're not more visible in your business. Not I'm busy or I need a better strategy. The real story. Is it I'm not credible enough? No one will care what I have to say. I need to wait until I'm further along. Then ask yourself, where did the story come from? Whose voice does it sound like? Is that story actually yours, or did you plagiarize it from someone else's fear and start living it as if it was your own truth? Write down one sentence that challenges that story today. Then say it out loud. That's where sovereignty begins. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to y'all just a little bit later.
Thanks for listening. Follow Maurice Chisholm on social media to stay connected, and check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, that will never work. Or will it?